So, Uncle Code, I've realized that a lot of teachers have ported over to Zoom as a method of running online classes, right? And this has unfortunately been the limit. People feel that, oh, if I'm using Zoom to run my online classes, it's like I'm living in the year 2070. It's the future. There are flying cars, there are robots working everywhere. What are your thoughts on this?
True. You know what? Remember that always I focus on being a digital citizen. It should be the main concern of society, parents, and teachers. So if I'm a teacher, I have to be a digital citizen teacher. And it's not just jump to the Zoom and then talk to people. Otherwise, then the whole universe problem solved by just streaming yourself through the Zoom. No, it's not like that. There are tools. And in today's talk, I want to talk about them that you can mix them with your training, whatever is your training style, and then you get the best out of the engagement that you can expect from your children. Tools that can help you to bring a little bit gamification, real-time data, and children, Generation Z love this stuff. They want gadgets and tools rather than write down the answers and show front of the camera.
Right. So, in today's episode of Uncle Talk, we are going to be talking about some tools that you can use to gamify education. Let's check it out.
Let's see. Hello, you beautiful people. Another episode of Uncle Talk, and today we're going to talk about what are tools that you can apply and bring it to your education and learning. How many tools we're going to talk about it, Raj, today?
Today, we are going to try to get through about 6 tools, right?
Ooh, six.
Nice.
That's a good number.
And it's a very good number. And to recap our conversation in the previous episode, right, Uncle Code, we
Definitely.
talked about gamification in education. We talked about the gamification taxonomy, which are components of gamification that you can use to gamify an education system. We talked about the flow theory and how you can have a balance in the force when it comes to implementing these gamification elements, right? And if you guys have missed out this episode, don't worry. You can have a look at the episode by clicking the links in the comment section below, right? So, Uncle Code, you are a man of your word. You promise that in this episode, you're going to share some tools which teachers and parents can use to make learning a bit more fun. Now, before we jump into those tools, I just want to dive a little bit deeper into something that you mentioned just now. You mentioned that we should strive to be digital citizens. What exactly do you mean by being a digital citizen?
Okay, in general, if you want to define digital citizen, is a person that understands the common available tools over the internet. He or she knows how to research. When you ask him or her a question, she knows, okay, wait a moment, let me search, let me find, go to the Wikipedia, Britannica, or Quora, or Stack Overflow, familiar with these resources, and then can compile, can compare, and then give you information. If you ask this person to give you a presentation, he or she knows available presentation tools and can provide you something beautiful. If you ask this person to edit a video, he or she knows available online videos and do this and that. Definitely she or he has a kind of YouTube channels, some online accounts. So this is the future of everybody. In this world, looks like everyone knows a little bit how to write. Everyone knows a little bit poetry. Everyone knows a little bit music. But now digital world, which is container for everything else that is going to be around, digital citizen is a person that can survive with this new economy. So that's what I'm trying to say. That should be the main goal of parenting and education system.
That's excellent. It seems as if that these digital tools make you someone who is so resourceful, right? And I think that's really the beauty of it.
Survival.
Yep.
Survival. You can't survive if you don't know math. If you don't know math, next time you go and buy something, you don't know that there's a change that you have to take it back.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this piece of cake is 5 ringgit. Maybe I'll give 50 instead. Seems to make a lot of sense. And then you want to pay a
We
back
got
card.
up extra zero.
Right, cool. So let's paint a picture. You're a teacher or you're a parent, right? Just say you're a teacher now, and you notice that your students are becoming very disengaged in class. They're becoming very frustrated, they're becoming very restless, and the whole process of learning is not becoming fun for them. Now, Uncle Code, what are some of the tools that I, as a teacher or a parent, can use in order to gamify the learning system and make it more enjoyable for my kids?
Okay. One of the things very important for every teacher, not now, even 1,000 years ago, is when I'm talking, when I'm teaching, what is happening in my children's mind? because that's how I can control. I mean, like, if are they understanding of am I difficult or the topic that I'm talking about, if they like it or not. So I always want to have this kind of real-time communication with my audience. Now, for example, if you stream something in Twitch, you like to get the comments immediately, right? That's a really nice way to get connected to your audience. For teachers, always this have been a kind of challenge, especially when the classroom is at the university and you have hundreds of students joining to a class and teacher doesn't have time. Oh, okay, maximum. Okay, guys, everyone, any questions? And typically everybody, no question. You know what? When I was teaching in university, always that was my way to give them a fun. I was asking, anybody, any question? And when they were thinking to say or nothing, I'll say, you know what? If you don't ask anything, there are two possible outcomes. Number one, you got everything, or you didn't get anything.
Exactly.
That was the point. And then that was the moment that I tried to motivate them to talk to me. So, but now we don't need to rely on that. I want to say that the reason that we may lose engagement of the children is because they're not understanding. They may be in the boredom or anxiety. Remember the state of the flow. So the easy way is, Raj, I'm teaching you this topic. Do you think it's easy? If it's easier in the boredom, let me know. I will increase a little bit the challenge. Do you think it's too much challenge? So I will bring it down. So naturally, we do this in a small community. But when it goes beyond your usual number of students, especially now as teachers, they connect to Zoom and they can have a lot of students. I see a math teacher has hundreds of students in a kind of big channel, but he doesn't use or she doesn't use tools to figure out diagnostic that if these students understand or they like it or not. So one very important thing is how we can have a real-time assessment of our students. And then that comes to two categories of assessment, summative and formative. Summative, I think we're all familiar with that, the exam that come at the end of the projects or semester. So which is one exam and you just do your best. Typically you memorize. And then there's a benchmark for that. But there are other kind of assessment that I like it. Formative. Formative assessments happen at any time at the end of each topic. So for example, Duolingo, you learn it and then you get a quiz. And if you make a mistake, Duolingo is smart enough to give the question again to you, right? And this is a very important one and showed that it has about 40% efficiency in learning and information retention. So today we're going to talk about some tools that they align with this direction and they come with points and badges and leaderboard and scoreboard to drop you into that challenge, achievement, pleasure.
Yes. Very nice. So what's the first tool that we're going to start off with today, Uncle Cole?
The first one that I select called a very, very famous tool, the top rated, has been around, and many educators and communities really use this approach and has a nice name. I really like the name, Socrative. It's a nice name to choose because he is the man in the philosophy and ancient Greek philosopher that he brought his Socrative method, an approach for question and answering, and we discussed about it, I think, in another video. And their tool is Socrative. And Raj, I also, for some of these tools that we're going to talk today, I picked up their advertisement video. I think it's good to visualize it a little bit. Maybe we can watch the Socrative video, right? What do you think?
All right, let's take a look.
Meet Socrative, your tool for fun and effective formative assessment. Socrative enables you to engage and assess students on any device and operating system during class. All the activities visualize student answers in real time and provide detailed reports for afterwards. Directly from your teacher dashboard, you can launch all types of assessments, start a quiz, do a quick question or polling activity, play a fun space race game, or do an out-of-the-door exit ticket. Quick questions are perfect for no-prep activities. As students respond, the teacher can see in real time what the students are thinking, have a discussion of the results, or ask more quick questions. It's your choice. You can create your own assessments or share assessments with your colleagues and other Socrative users around the world. If you'd like, you can tag it with a common core or state standard. As students take the quiz, you'll see their graded responses populate in your live results table. Each column shows how the whole class is performing on that question. You can see which questions you need to go over with the class or decide how to group students for review based on their results. Run your quiz as an exciting space race to create a fun assessment game that students can play in groups or individually. Students love the friendly competition, and you'll still receive the graded report at the end. With Socrative Pro, you can set a countdown timer or upload your own race icon. You can manage multiple live activities simultaneously in 10 different rooms, create a room for each period, divide the class into smaller groups, or even have a homework room. In addition, you can add rosters and have up to 150 students in each room. With Socrative, visualizing student understanding has never been easier. Sign up today at Socrative.com.
Excellent. Very nice.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Basically, now the current version of Socrative has a lot of features, but what is the thing, the essence of the product is the ability that in real time you can create, you can manage assessment on fly. So that's what I can say. Okay, so you can get instant feedback. For example, you're teaching and online, and you are 50 students, and then you're talking about trigonometry, and you want to make sure that if they got a point of or something, that means you can post the questions immediately and teach students, no matter they're in the iPad or Android or phone or computers or browser, they get the questions, they answer, and then you will see your dashboard that how many percentage of the class they could give the proper answer. So if it's 80%, you know that you are doing well. But if you see 40% answers, so you have to say, okay, so let me repeat this topic again. And this is the part, and then you give them again another question, and you see, wow, that 40 became 80%. So then you get instant feedback. Trainers, they need this instant feedback. Otherwise, it's like a kind of dictatorism. I don't care you understand or not. This is what I feel I have to tell you. But this tool is really nice. I mean, it led them to do that. There are many more things now in the Socrative. There are template, there are different, and like that space race is really interesting.
Yeah.
You divide your student to 2-3 groups, and then you give questions and let them answers. And there's a like a leaderboard online that
Leaderboard, yes.
they move, and then which team will be. So you can keep launch this kind of funny games. And then the math is fun. Everything else is fun because you remember gamification led you to give pleasure to people outside the context of the product that you are streaming. So it doesn't matter, it's math or biology or whatever, they can get the pleasure. You can put them in the loop of the dopamine and then give your topic. So this is
Yeah. I find it really fascinating also because it's almost data driven to a certain extent, right? I think in the past, teachers are so confused, like what exactly about this subject do my students not understand? But using something like Socrative, you can see very clearly which part of the syllabus or the learning plan that they don't understand, and they can figure out how to solve that confusion for their students. Absolutely brilliant. Cool. So this is Socrative. What else do you have in your arsenal of tools, Uncle Ko?
by purpose, the next one that I like to talk about it is something that is everybody here know. I guess many of us we know about it, and it's nice that how we can use things from tools that we have them around, and that is the Google Form. Google Form is something that now Google Classroom became very important within this pandemic. It's simple tools is good, and many schools they use teachers those teachers that they have the habit of these online tools, they know how to work with the Google Classroom. And Google Form is something that you can create a lot of questionnaire for that kind of assessment and engage them. It doesn't have that much gamification elements such as Socrative, but if you comfortable with it, you can apply it, you can bring it out. For example, you can connect the Google Form to Google Spreadsheet. What I like about the Google Form is this. For example, I am a person that knows how to work with the Google Spreadsheet, let's say. I'm very good and comfortable with that. Even I can write my script and program Google Spreadsheets. So I prefer to use Google Form. It's free tools. And I get the data, I bring it to my Google Spreadsheet. Then I have some kind of automated formula, get the data, immediately draw a leaderboard by itself within the Google Spreadsheet. So I can build a Socrative for myself if I know codings, if I'm a teacher, or that I have this kind of, it doesn't need too much expensive skills. I think you teachers, you have to learn codings. Definitely, I think you know that. So then to be able at least to do some scripting. Google Form is really great. But one more important thing about the Google Form is they are following some new privacy policy designed for family and children. This privacy policy for children and family, Raj, became very important within the pandemic. Maybe one video we can talk about it. Because now we're getting online. Online means what is what is different before the pandemic. The number of young internet users increasing. That's a very important thing. Now, 9 years old, 8 years old is a real internet user because of their school, because of their education. So now law should think about them. The privacy policy should think about them. It's not like before that most of EdTech company focus on adult. So I just give some of their names. You know, their names is big. Let me read it. One of them is FERPA, is Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. The other one is COPA, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And then the other one is Student Privacy Pledge, which is introduced by a Future Privacy Forum. And all are under one ISO IEC 27018. And these are some standards that Google Form brought them into their data. So it's a very interesting and important thing, especially for those that they have such a kind of concern. So Google Form is another thing that can be used.
Right. And it's a very interesting point about data privacy that you brought up, Uncle Code. And I think we could go on a roll about talking about the importance of data and how people don't actually see the importance behind preserving your data, taking care of your data. And the fact that Google Forms does put a lot of attention to this is a very good sign. Now, a question that I would like to ask is, could you give me a practical application of a teacher using Google Forms in class? In what situation would they use Google Forms?
For example, within the Google Classroom, if you are using Google Classroom, so you can put your video topics, you can put some assignment for children. For example, you give 10 questions in the Google Doc, and children, they have to bring it back, or you want to give quizzes. So you build your quizzes. In the Google Form, you have some interesting ability to create multi-choices and different kind of quizzes that you can have for people. So you can share it, and then every student, when they try to answer that Google Form, one copy of the Google Form will be created individually for a student. So you can really look at them, and then you can connect it to the grading system. It has also sort of grading system that you can connect to the Google Classroom to mark and grade your students. So combining Google Form and Google Classroom produce a very interesting engagement. There is a YouTube channel. There's an American teacher. She's really active to training and explaining how Google Classroom works. I will search within this video and I will share the link as well. It's a really good, she go to it. So for teachers that they have a little bit difficulties to work with the Google Classroom, maybe this YouTube channels will be very helpful because she explained a very simple language, and also she talked about the Google Form as well. That would be very good.
Awesome. So we'll add the link to that YouTube channel in the comment section below. So be sure to check it out later on, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Uncle Code, that's 2 tools down. What's the third?
The third is I really like it because it's very, very simple. And I like products that focus on one thing and then gradually they increase. You know what? Doesn't matter. For example, look at today Instagram does a lot of things, right? But it's still Instagram. What we know is Instagram, a place. I take photo. There are some nice filters. I tap, I share it. This is Instagram. We know there is a story, there is a reels. These are the things that every product, successful product, should do to preserve the current customers, to make them happy. But new customers always join because of that main primary functionality. It's a very important thing. And this product, I guess they did a good job. And the name is Pools Everywhere and used by millions of learners and companies, top Fortune 500 companies, and then many, many more people, not only for this. But this is producing this ability that on time, very real time, you communicate with your audience. There is a video for that I selected. Maybe we can watch it.
Sure. Let's take a look at the commercial.
So you're giving a presentation and you want to get some feedback from your audience. Show of hands. How many of you signed up for office hours? 1, 2, 4, 50. That's not very accurate. Old voting methods take far too long, and expensive voting systems like this one, well, they're difficult to set up and don't allow for audience comments. Hello? Oh, nope, nothing. Introducing Poll Everywhere. Through a simple web interface, Poll Everywhere lets you collect instant audience feedback. Just type in a question, and your audience can respond using laptops, tablets, or even mobile phones. Even your crappy flip phone. Hey guys, what do you think of my presentation so far? Is it A, amazing, B, incredibly amazing, or C, not that great? To respond, just text message the number on screen. Or use a custom URL to respond in the web app. You can even use Twitter if that's what you're into. As people respond, results are embedded instantly into your presentation, in real time. Seriously, guys? You can also ask open-ended questions. What is your favorite part of my outfit? Poll Everywhere also lets you customize the look of your charts to wow your audience. And for all you spreadsheet nerds out there, you can even create segmented crosstab analytics. The best part about it is you could try it today for free. So how excited are you guys about Poll Everywhere? A, can't contain it, or B, not at all? Kaboom! Instant audience feedback. Poll Everywhere.
What a fantastic commercial, Uncle Code.
Exactly. I wanted to also ask your comments about this. It's a really nice way of showing the products.
Yeah, really fantastic. So from what I see, Poll Everywhere is really more focused on getting the sentiments from your audience or your students, right? It's more about understanding what they think about a certain topic instead of more of a formative assessment. Am I understanding that right?
True. It's very instantly. Instantly you can communicate. It looks like look at the similarity between this when you use Instagram story. Instagram story is a place that is for one day, and instantly that means you're saying that it's only for today. I want to get back your feedback for today. That's a very important thing. Okay, it gives you fast action, and I think Polls Everywhere gives such a kind of ability to speakers, presenters, or anyone else to do this kind of gathering through the Zoom. So a nice thing is I'm doing conversation in the Zoom and there are 10 people and talking with each other. I can send my questions and I continue my conversation, and I don't need even to tell them, oh, hey guys, what do you think? So asynchronously or synchronously, I can do this kind of pooling. You know what? Something very important, Raj, is hidden in gamification. If you remember, we talked about one of the great aspects of the gamification is giving the sense of I am in the control. By giving choices, by give them time and possibilities to take an action. So if I'm a teacher and I'm teaching and I stop and I give them activities to quiz and tell me what do you think about you must be it looks like very humble. I remember all time, it never was like a teacher ask students, what do you think about my teaching? No way. It's like kind of what? But now the world is changing. We like to comment on everything. We are raising our children with social. One thing that rarely I hear it from a parent, because there are a lot of negative things about social media they share. But one nice thing is people learn that they have to comment. They shouldn't be silent. New children, they understand that there's a commenting. I have right. I can like. I can dislike. I matter. So when they continue with such a kind of concept, make them active member of anything. So that's one of the things of the gamification. And these tools, Poll Everywhere, is very fast, immediate. That means a design that no matter you see, it even doesn't ask you to log in. So that's a very important. If you log in, you're going to get extra, of course. But to participate, the main primary function, it's so easy. Click, do SMS or tweet.
Yeah. And it's so interesting what you mentioned, Uncle Code, that it's more than just a tool, right? It's actually training our children to have this ability to speak their mind.
True.
And it is such a very valuable skill to have. And the other interesting feature that I really liked about Poll Everywhere is that occasionally you'll get these jokers in class who want to put some funny, nasty comments. You also have the ability to filter that, which is a very, very powerful function to have.
Especially when it comes to teenagers.
Yeah. Cool. So that is 3 tools, and we have 3 more tools to go. What's next on the list?
So the next one I'm going to talk about is a very, very popular app that became very strong in the market with millions of users, and that is Kahoot.
Kahoot, yes, I've used this back in university.
I always think that if I want to make a marketing brand for Kahoot, I'll use a way that some people, you see that cartoons, Kahoot, I make it like that.
Yeah.
You used in your university. So you explain to me, how was your experience?
So Kahoot was very, very exciting because what our lecturers used to do was at the end of every tutorial session, she will have this Kahoot like a screen, which all of us have to join in using our phone. And then we have a bunch of questions that we have to answer. And in order to get scores, we have to, of course, answer the questions correctly. But the speed in which we answer the questions also give us the score. And at the end of the class, our teacher will be like, okay, whoever that has answered the best or has answered most correctly, you guys can leave class first. So this was a little game that we had, and of course everybody became super competitive about it. So the one question I do have about Kahoot, and maybe you want to elaborate a bit more before I get into my question, but there is this concern, and this is something that I've noticed, and I would like to really pick your mind on this, Uncle Code, is that the focus has shifted from actually learning about the subject to seeing who can answer the question most correctly. When we talked about our Bartle personality types, I feel like I'm a killer in that aspect. So I don't really care so much about whether I know the subject matter, but I'm like, oh, I just need to win. I just need to win. I just need to win. Is that going to be a cause of problem, you think?
You are asking very important and famous question. This is one of the main criticism against gamification in general. Okay, that means, and also behavioral economy. That means when we utilize gamification to bring the change in people behavior, how we can be sure that they don't cross the speed limit because they understood that this is not a good thing, right? So, true. But I have a question. Isn't that too much? We expect every majority of people reach to that level of wisdom and understanding that they deep down they know why driving fast is not good. Not only through the accident or death of a person, be able to look at different level of morality, ethics, philosophy, history, science, sociology. Imagine all these kind of layers. This required very, very smart people. This required years of training, and we know that the life doesn't have that much time. We need approaches to look at majority of the people. Not all kids, they will go deep in understanding of the math because they have great understanding that why mathematics is important. And because traditionally we were thinking, I teach math with that formula theoretical way, you have to understand this is important part of your life. Result became a huge disengagement in the school system that we talk about it. That approach didn't work. We never claim that gamification is the best. We claim that it's a big improvement. Yes, this is one of the things that we should work on that. I will give another answer to this, but let me focus on this perspective that we found a way that some people that they never reach to the level that by themselves truly believe that math is important or I have to learn or I shouldn't drive. We found a way to bring them into the game. We found a way to convince them do not drive fast. And also those children, those people that always they had the ability to search a little bit and understand that why driving fast is bad, and still they do the same things. It's not like we're shifting this desire in a person. It's more opportunity for new people that they have difficulties to understand through wisdom, research, and self-awareness. So that's one mechanism. It's one thing. Number two is a good, beautiful gamified system, a design. We know that the goal is we build explicit reinforcement like competition and gradually bring it into intrinsic reinforcement. So if there is a kind of teachers or trainers use too much Kahoot for everything, for every desire, or your mommy give you chocolate for everything you want to do in your life, this means you are not, it's not the gamification issue. It's your addiction to chocolate and the way that your mother feed you. That's an issue. So if I'm a teacher, I utilize Kahoot and mix it with, some of you can go out to class sooner, but after a while it's not anymore go out sooner. After a while it's a tools, and you want me to give you new topics. So this is very important on how the person in charge apply this system to the audience.
Fantastic. That's a fantastic answer, Uncle Code.
But
Is
I'm
there
going to
anything
say that
else?
it is this has been a concern, and many people talked about it, more or less similar to what I said. That so it's I mean it's a valid statement.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I can say for sure is that I definitely preferred Kahoot compared to not having Kahoot at all. So, I guess some improvement is better than nothing at all, and some sort of effort or initiative to make the learning process more enjoyable should be the direction that we're focusing on instead of not doing anything at all and trying to find the perfect solution to
Yes,
something.
exactly. Life
Right?
is progress, and you know what? What we can do something really interesting. We use Kahoot, for example. Okay, we use extrinsic reinforcement or badges or those kind of things to have students in the course. Then in parallel, we send them some informations. We engage them some group discussion. Why mathematics is good, and among those 50 students, 10 students that they love math not because of Kahoot, because now all the 50 engage in math because of Kahoot. These 10 students have chance to inspire other students. Not like before, we had only these 10 students and those 40 they were out. So what I'm trying to say that using only Kahoot, yes, but Kahoot is the way to warm up everybody to sit down and listen why mathematics is important.
Nice. Fantastic. Is there anything else you would like to add on about Kahoot, or shall we jump to the next tool?
Oh, no, let's go and watch the video. I forgot.
Hi, we're Kahoot. We're on a mission to make learning awesome. Our game-based learning platform is used by millions of people all over the world: teachers, students, company employees, and lifelong learners. Kahoot makes it easy to create fun learning games or trivia quizzes in minutes, anytime, anywhere. We call them Kahoots. It works for any subject, in any language, on any device. You can also discover and play existing games. There are millions of Kahoots in our library. Kahoot can be played in a live setting with questions on a big screen, or on your mobile device where you see questions and answers on one screen. As well as in schools, Kahoot is played in companies, at events, and even parties to make learning awesome. Sign up today at kahoot.com. Let's play!
You know what's stuck in my mind, Uncle Code? I need to
Yes.
know what an alele is right now.
You can search after this video. One very important thing about a Kahoot that make it a little bit, I guess, different than other elements, tools that we talk about it, is utilizing a better way of using or more gamification. Badges, scoreboards. It looks like you're in Duolingo. It uses those kind of elements more than the Socrative, and it's not for real-time pool the kind of assessment. It's designed for a little bit more functionalities. It's designed for bringing the fun. For example, you can go through huge categories, galleries that they have about different topics, or you, as a teacher, can create your own quizzes, and then you can save them and you can use them. So it's a great tools for school teachers to finish up their daily course. Actually, it's very important. You know what? It's very important. There are very important things. I know that every teacher knows that warm up is very important. And I want to connect warm up with dopamine. That means how you can do some sort of communication and conversation with your children to put them in the loop of dopamine. So then that dopamine soup in the brain make them excited to continue. So that's a very important thing. So try to do it at the first, like we call it teaser video, something like that. And then at the end also is very important. When the teaching is done, you want to make a review, and a nice happy ending is very important. The memory should be there. So using a Kahoot or using this kind of gamified quizzes is really nice. Not only for the middle of the course to know what is the quality of the learning, beginning and the end would be very, very good. And Kahoot has this really game approach to do the assessment, and I think it's a very interesting thing that children and students they can use. And many of these companies, they come with a free plan and premium plan. Actually, it's free for schools. Kahoot, as far as I know, it's free for schools, and they can add some extra features, not that much expensive. I think it's very, very good things to be used. So it's not only use these tools, Raj, is when And that's important. Typically these companies, they give some suggestions by themselves. That's a part of the content marketing. So I really suggest to definitely think when and how I should do these kind of activities.
Fantastic. So we have Kahoot. Very interesting point you mentioned, Uncle Code. It's not just about using the tools, it's when to use it. And I think that is a very, very good way of putting the usage of these tools in action. We have another 2 more tools to go. Next up, we have something called Quizlet.
Perfect. This is my favorite tool. I'm one of its users myself. So Quizlet is an app. If we can see their website while I'm explaining, would be very good. So Quizlet is really simple. It's similar to Kahoot somehow, but it's focusing more. The focus is more on quiz and flashcard and that kind of things. So you're maybe learning a new language, or you're learning philosophy or story or something. You can come here in the library. There are a lot of quizzes ready for different topics, science, technologies, and then mathematics. So you can load one of those things relevant to the part that you are learning to your app and then practice. But what I found it very interesting, it's the ease of interface to create your own flashcard. I use flashcard a lot in my life. I mean, before especially. When I'm reading a new book and that book important matters to me, and I want to make sure that I can remember the book when I talk other places for my students, for my audience. So when I read the book, those important part of the book, I take a note and bring them to the Quizlet. And then when I'm free, I review them. So I ask myself. So within just 2-3 weeks, I remember everything. So it's very interesting. The way it's very simple, very easy, and it has translator, especially if you want to use it for a language or word. When you write the word, it brings definition from the Google, so you don't need to go and find yourself and paste it. Instantly, it goes there. So this is a word of mouth I'm giving to about Quizlet. And it's a really, really nice way. So you can create this for your students and children and then ask them to use it. It's the usage is less, I feel for myself, less distracted than Kahoot. Kahoot, there are a lot of things. There are many things. Now it's becoming very, very, I guess, it's collectively has a lot of things. But this quiz let us a little bit focus on the quiz itself. It has diagrams, it has reports, it has, you can see how many answered and who was online, who is not, and that kind of thing. It's really, really nice. I really like it.
Right. So excellent. So that's Quizlet, and we just want to clarify, we're not sponsored by any of these brands to promote their products for them. We are sharing this purely because it brings a lot of value, and it really makes education a lot more fun for all of you. But of course, if any of these brands are watching this video, hit us up. We would love to, make something happen if that's possible. Right? Cool. Uncle Code, one final tool to wrap it up. Flipgrid.
It's really interesting. This is a company which is owned by Microsoft, and it's really nice. Let's watch their videos. I really like what they have done.
Welcome to Flipgrid, a video discussion experience from Microsoft. In this video, we'll provide everything you need to know to get started as a student. First, you'll need to access your class topic. Click the link or enter the code you received from your educator on the free Flipgrid app or on any computer with a webcam via the Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome browser at flipgrid.com. Log into Flipgrid using your school account by clicking the Microsoft or Google login. Read the topic discussion prompt. You can click this button to launch Microsoft's Immersive Reader, which provides powerful reading assistance. Watch the topic media, explore any links, and then, when you're ready, click to add a video. Flipgrid's camera is filled with powerful tools to help tell your story. You can add a filter, frame, text, emoji, ink, and draw on a board. You can upload images or even videos from your camera roll. Record, review, and re-record as many times as you would like. You can screen record and stitch together multiple clips. When you're ready, click Next, snap a selfie, and then click Submit. Watch videos from your peers here, add text or video comments, and review feedback from your educator. And remember, you're incredible. You're smart, you're kind, and you are important.
Wow.
Very beautiful. Let me tell you something about the Flipgrid. I guess I like the way what they did. They understood that Generation Z, they are spending time in apps like Instagram and TikTok. They like recording video, adding stickers, and then sharing. Well, you like to do this. So I built a social platform for you that your teacher asks you a question. What do you think about Mars? And then you record videos with that style. You see stickers, colors, you spend time to color your hair, and you add stickers to yourselves or musics, you edit it, but you are answering the questions in not conventional way, in the way that you love to do that. You may even dance. You see how Generation Z, they can be creative. So then they post it. So they use that interesting concept behind success that you can see in apps like TikTok and Instagram, and now they use it in favor of education. So it's very brilliant. It's very nice, and coming from strong companies, so they have tools, materials, resources, good programmers. So this is something really, really valuable. And I think trainers and teachers, if you be able to bring laugh and happiness and love to your children, that's what we want to do it. Everybody, oh, this is what we're trying to do that. And such a kind of tools, without these tools is not possible, because remember we were talking about be a digital parent. You go and record dancing video of yourself and say happy birthday to your child and share it to your child TikTok. This is the way that children, they want to see you, the same way that they want to see their parents. So if you don't use this stuff, you will be, in their mind, you don't exist. In their mind, you're someone that they don't want it, because you're pushing yourself in the different pictures that they don't want to see it in their life. But engaging with these tools, they like it, and they are very responsive, and they remember. I remember my good memories when I was 7 years old in a school from a beautiful teacher. So today, that beautiful teacher should happen within these tools. And that's how I remember my future version in 30. If I'm today 8 years old, and then 30 years later, I'm 38, I remember a teacher that showed us how to dance and talk about the Mars chemistry and post it in Flipgrid. So that was also my ending talk as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Uncle Good, one final question before we wrap it up. So we have 6 tools that we talked about here today, and some of these tools are rather similar to each other. For example, something like Kahoot and Quizlet, they feel quite similar. Poll Everywhere and Google Form, there is some sort of similarity to it. Where should teachers start if they want to use some of these tools?
For me, it's not. I like that good teachers, they pick up multiple tools. I don't think you have to stay in one place. For example, assessment is one thing that I focused a little bit more today about it, because we're going to have more talk about assessment as well later. And all these tools come with gamification, leaderboard, and the scoreboard. They know this is very important. So if I'm not talking about the learning management system, for example, Blackboard is a famous learning management system that you can do everything in that elements that the schools technically they're gonna get it. But I'm talking about the tools that you can have it in your toolbox when you bring it. So get a tool for your quizzes. Quiz is important. Get a tool specifically for instant real time, like maybe Socrative or maybe Pools Everywhere. Definitely use this Flipgrid. Use this Flipgrid for projects. Children, they like to give you a presentation in the video. Don't ask them to record a video and then send it to me in a Google Drive. Don't do this stuff. Okay, why you want to do that? Put them in a Google Drive and then you download it and then you put it. Or send me in a WhatsApp. This is not nice. Or try to use something like a Flipgrid, and because video is very important. There are some other tools that children, they can record their voice. Actually, that is also nice. Maybe we can share more tools later. And then flash memory stuff. These are the important things that you can help you to grasp make sure the learning has been done, and then they remember everything. So to me is a mix of these tools. For example, I will pick up Flipgrid, I'll pick up Quizlet, for example, or Quiz Up, also again another app. Okay, and I will pick up, for example, Pools Everywhere. For example, I will pick up these 3 if immediately I want to go to a classroom, because one is very important is the tools that you choose is available and accessible. Flipgrid, they did a good job. That means you can easily use it in the classroom everywhere. Pools Everywhere, very simple. And then Quizlet also is something that people can download and install in their app. So these are my 3 choices immediate choices if I want to go to bring engagement to my students.
Right. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody tuning in, we have come to the end of our topic for today, 6 gamification tools that you can use in education. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and let us know in the comments section below what are some challenges that you are facing being a teacher or a parent in these current times. We would love to find out and maybe even help you in a future episode of Uncle Talk. Bye-bye.
Great. Goodbye, you beautiful people.